Hello, everyone, and welcome to the week ahead. We start this week off with the Libra moon, just as it's getting ready to cross the South Node. And, what's so interesting here, we have these Cancer, Capricorn angles, as North Node in Aries after its conjunction to Chiron, South Node in Libra, and the moon is tracing the path of the upcoming eclipse cycle. So we're about a month off from the eclipses, which will be on this Aries Libra axis. And I'll probably do a whole, special edition just on the eclipses. But I think it's important to start to pay attention when the path of the moon, is the fastest moving planet in the sky. And she is always sort of running ahead, giving us the emotional frequency and the attunement of the time to come. And then right behind her is Mercury and Venus, who are in the what we would consider the personal planets, and they're moving Mercury with the sun. So the conjunction of Mercury with the sun marks the midpoint in the retrograde cycle. This is what we would call a superior conjunction of Mercury to the sun because it's happening while Mercury is direct. And we have Venus, who in just the past few days has made her square to Jupiter. And she and Mars, also Mars made it square to Jupiter. They're both moving towards a square to Uranus. And so these times in particular are like the pre-party to the party of the eclipses. It's sort of like when you're getting ready and you're preparing and you're, cleaning up the house and you're getting all the things in order and you're going to have this big event, but you can never know exactly how it's going to go when the event happens. You know, you could have a fabulous event and it could just bring in all kinds of new people and you could have amazing experiences and it could be mind blowing. Or you could have an event that is like, you know, triggering and sudden and shocking and challenging. Or you could have an event that is liberating. But no matter what the outcome of the event is, you're naturally going to be working in this time and space, preparing in the relationships that are meant to change, going to change, the conversations that need to happen, the things that have to shift, right? You're going to be working in the ground of your life, you know, tending to your physical vessel, your temple, your feelings, your life force energy. I know for myself, in the midst of everything that's been happening, our whole family got sick again. And it was like, wow, one by one, I'm kind of taken down the rabbit hole of, um, illness. And it's been a real learning for me because when I think about the desires that I have for myself, for my life, and what I'm praying for, wishing for, intending, like the miracles that I want to have happen, there's something that I'm aware of that has to change in my relationship to myself and in my relationship to my health, my physical health, my not in order for something to happen necessarily, but in order for happening to happen. Like it's an undercurrent of happening. In the same way, this energy is a precursor to eclipse happening, right? And most of the time what we're working with in Libra is relationship, right? Communication, exchange, harmony, balance, Venus attributes of our needs and our values, what What we're working with here, though, is the South Node. So that can be really letting go of core ways in which we've denied our own self and our values in relationship, and reclaiming our value, our inherent worth, right? Might bring some radical change or perspective. I was once asked by someone, oh, let me see if I can find the question. I have it written down here because I think this is a good question to reflect on for this week. As we are walking with the moon in it close to, we're getting towards that last quarter trine. We're not quite there yet, but if my purpose in my life is to love and be loved, right? Nothing more important to the human journey than this central purpose. Everything else revolves around it. It's like the spoke of a wheel, right? Whether we acknowledge it or not, it can be operating on a deep, unconscious level, right? But ultimately, everything is connected to this central purpose. Not to please others or to prove that I am worthy of love. If my purpose in my life is to love and be loved, not to please others or to prove that I am worthy of love, right? This is like two things. They almost, in our culture, in our ways of past conditioning and relating, could be smushed together. My purpose is to please others and prove that I'm worthy of love, and my purpose is to love and be loved, right? They can easily become entangled with one another. But this question is saying, no, if my purpose is to love and be loved, not to prove that I am worthy of love or to please others, what new desire can I now perceive in my heart? What new desire, right? We're in a new phase with Venus. New phase with Venus. What new desire can I now perceive in my heart? And right behind that is Mars. So that would be, and what new action can I now take to move in the direction of actualizing that desire? And our action progressively at this stage, as the moon crosses the South Node, maybe letting go of some past relationship pattern which required us to please others or to prove our worthiness, or to expect others to please us or prove their worthiness to us. Like we can be playing both sides of the coin, right? I'm not going to show you how much I care until you show me how much you care. And then withholding love, affection, connection based on what another person does or does not do, right? Versus attuning ourselves to the new desire that is calling for our awareness. And a part of this might mean some new habit, devotion, path of healing work, expression. In my, I've been studying this modality of co-counseling, and today in our class, we were really talking about needs, frozen needs, and the question of what do you have to face in order to actually have a relationship where you express your care, right? That can be our fear, our insecurity, the uncertainty. What is this relationship? Where is it going to go? What is it going to do? What are they going to do? How are they going to respond to me? Maybe our vulnerability. We may need to face ways in which we've been conditioned to suppress our desires or our needs. our longings in the face of receiving the certainty, right? We can often posture ourselves in a particular way because we think that's what's going to get me love. And if we were taught at some point in our lives that that was what got us love or attention, or that we didn't get love or attention for being ourselves, or that it wasn't safe to receive love or connection, or that love or connection wasn't available to us for whatever reason. Right, so then we have the moon moving through the sign of Scorpio, moving into its opposition to Jupiter. And so much of what we can be fueled by in this insatiable desire is the desire to fulfill those unmet needs. And that can take the form of, or escaping, avoiding, numbing out, using substances. It can take all these different forms of, seeking for sexual lust or connection as a validation of self-value or self-worth. But in order for us to really have a new experience of being ourselves, we can't attach relationship or connection to those kind of core attachments. And we have to really detangle ourselves from those and get free enough to feel who we are without them, even facing the discomfort of maybe aloneness that presents, or the feelings that bring that, the deep feelings or the deeper desires that brings up, the younger parts of ourselves that are still grasping for something long since missed. And so then as we move through this week, we get a leap year, February 29th. I'm going to celebrate that Scorpio moon on that extra day. If that's your birthday, happy birthday. And we move into the 1st of March. And I'll make a separate video for the month ahead for March of 2024. One, because it includes the first eclipse and I want to really tune into that with y'all. But this 1st of March, we're in a transitioning season. Pisces season is a transitional season. It's a mutable sign. We have the moon in fixed water opposing Uranus. So it's like this ebb and flow between the structures of our emotional and psychological reality, our physical and financial reality, the things that drive us, our identity, right? Aquarius, Leo, that is really trying so hard right now to individuate into itself, to become more and more of itself, unique, different, whole unto itself, sovereign, right? Meeting the parts of us that are still needing forgiveness. Not just forgiveness for things that have happened to us, but in particular for things that we've done, or places where in our woundedness, in our brokenness, in our insecurity, in our fear, in our uncertainty, we've acted in ways and moved in ways that didn't value our wholeness, that didn't recognize our holiness. And whether that was in some way giving ourselves away in relationship, or are using our sexuality or our resources in ways that we don't feel integrity with, whether it was about our personal power, our will, our desire, enforcing our will in ways where we caused harm to others, whether it was about our unmet needs and being motivated by those unmet needs on an unconscious level, but not being able to really connect with the little one inside, and letting that drive our relationship choices, even choices to intentionally or unintentionally separate ourselves from people when we wanted connection, right? There's such power in this beginning part of March to really reflect on those things and offer ourselves and others healing by speaking the truth, by being emotionally honest, by sharing the deeper parts of ourselves that are needing healing within a healing container, by bringing those parts to a healing container. It's a part of why I've created so much of my work to be done in small group containers. My upcoming class series, The Goddess Within, is all going to be done in a small group container. We'll be working with individual participants' charts. You can watch the introduction video. I posted it on my channel, going through the goddesses that I'm going to be covering. And it's interesting to me because, like, as we work through this Sag moon time in the week, Sunday, the moon will, Saturday into Sunday conjoin with Pallas Athene and then Lilith, the asteroid. And Chariklo is conjunct Mars. First, Venus will make a conjunction to her. Hygeia, the goddess of health and well-being, is moving towards Neptune. Still healing. All of that. But what I'm really getting on a deeper level with all of these goddesses is that, especially the Venus, the Juno and Virgo, really is helping us relook at our relationships, our commitments, from the perspective of what would my life be like if my agreements to others were not induced by any kind of guilt, but my relationships, my commitments, my choices weren't carrying guilt, right? And part of the way that we absolve ourselves of guilt is by, remedying that, right? In the Jewish tradition, there's, the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is a time of atonement. It's a time of reconciliation but we don't have to wait until then in order to clear the slate. I think of these Balsamic times of the moon as being some of the best times to be letting go and releasing past hurt, conditioning, challenges, physical ailments, regaining our strength, regaining our capacities, through new action and new vision, right? Through new intentions and new collaborations, through new connections. But that, we can't create new connections really until we've cleared old connections. Even if an old connection has the potential to renew itself, or the relationship can change form and we can meet each other in a different way that allows for more space and possibility for new emergence, that all has to happen through the emotional body. We have to bring ourselves into communion with what we desire and what's in the way. Asking that simple question of, like, what's in the way of bringing ourselves forward, right? That can lead us to such a deep inner exploration. And you could go through every area of your life where you feel blocked, limited, stifled, challenged, where there are unmet needs. Make a list of those unmet needs. Look at where the root sources of them are. Look at where you can ask other people to meet those needs and what you would need to do in order to make that request, right? Maybe you might have to get over some insecurity. Maybe you might have to build more resilient and connected relationships. Maybe you might have to move out of isolation. Maybe you might have to fear the fear of getting hurt again and find the courage to heal that fear by forgiving yourself for past decisions that hurt you or others. This dark time of the moon, this closing, as we move towards this Pisces new moon, which holds a beautiful blessing for a lot of healing. So we're going to have such a strong stellium of Aquarius, Pisces, basically like this top half of the chart, right? For those, it might be the bottom half of the chart for people, depending on what your rising sign is. But, you know, we're from Aquarius until Taurus, that whole quarter is going to be filled with this energy of completion, of healing, of resolution, of reconciliation, of new beginnings, of endings that create new space within us, of liberation, of change, of uncertainty. Uncertainty in change means that we don't actually know what the outcome of the story is. We can hold, though, that perspective of what if your bottom line purpose is to love and be loved, and simultaneously, what if everything is happening for your healing? If those two statements are true, then whatever we do this week is clearing the way. And I've been thinking about this a lot because some miracles happen in my life especially at the end of my pilgrimage. And in my mind, when that miracle happened, it meant a particular outcome. Oh, here's where I'm gonna cry. So the miracle happened and it defied the current conditions of my life. It was such a huge blessing. It really opened my heart to the power of my prayer. And then this miracle happened. And in my mind, I got that might mean that I would get the outcome that I was desiring. And then when that didn't happen, I was met with such deep grief because the miracle meant a change in conditions, meant a change in perception, meant a change of heart, which it did. And that absolutely stands to be true. But it didn't mean a guarantee of a particular outcome. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen again or in the future or some other time or with someone else or with, whatever it is in our life that we're praying for, right? There are going to be those times when it doesn't quite happen the way that we desire it to happen. But to be able to simultaneously recognize the miracle of love, which is happening always, whether we're aware of it or not, the healing, whatever that is, and how those are different from the outcome, and how we don't often know in the grand scheme of things what is really best for our soul or for the souls that we're in relationship to. We can sometimes think that we know, there's what is that song? You don't always get what you want, but you get what you need, right? I think the miracle is getting what you need, and it's like, I had a whole vision for the beginning of the year, created all kinds of things based on that vision. It hasn't quite revealed itself that that's what's meant to be, right? So I've had to let go of things that I thought I would be doing, things that I really wanted to do, and other things have emerged. The goddess class is a part of what emerged through my own meditation. And it's really, I'm so excited for people are joining me. It's going to be such a beautiful journey through the goddesses, Venus, relating to each and every one of them. Vesta, Juno, Ceres. It's like these are the archetypes that are evolving, and this evolution is all happening within us. And so we get to explore that together. It's really a blessing for me to be able to offer that. Everyone who joins my class series, any of my classes, whether in my Growing Together group, which is really devoted to growing our medicine and our work in the world and our presence, or in the Goddess Within class series, everyone gets to join me in the new moon ceremonies. So we'll be having a new moon ceremony on Sunday, March 10th, and that will be really devoted to this healing journey that we're on. And so wherever you find yourself in your life, whatever is healing for you, if you want to leave, a prayer for healing, something that you want me to hold in prayer for you, or if you recognize the miracle in your life, if you want to share something on your heart, I love hearing your comments. Please give a thumbs up to this video. Your likes increase the love and possibility in the universe. The dislikes aren't necessary. If you didn't like this video, you can move on. But I love sharing the love with you, and I love getting to tune into this week ahead. And I hope that you'll join me in the Goddess Within if you would feel the call to explore these archetypes with me. It's a 6-month class series. So once a month we'll meet and I'll give a transmission on one of the goddesses and we'll do chart practice with your own charts. So it's really a hands-on way of learning this material. And I love teaching and learning together in a small group environment. It just really makes everyone gets to learn from each other. So I hope you have a beautiful week, my friends. As we're clearing out and closing out the past, just remember whatever is leaving in these times is part of a chapter of life that we are maturing from and moving on from. And whatever is beginning is part of that miracle that we are calling in. And even if it's uncertain what the outcome of the future is, we can know that we have what we need in this present moment. So thank you for listening, and bye for now.